most of the times we are our first client, because we helped ourselves achieve the actual goal that we are
Yeah.
selling. So
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the figures. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the figures. That's a comma.
Hi, Kendra. It's so nice to see you.
it's nice to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. So, you're going to give us insights to us moms who are trying to build our business strategy and get a little insights into marketing. But before we get into all of that, can you tell me a little bit about your background?
So my background kind of starts with actually I started serving tables when I left out of college because the bank merger, because I was supposed to be a trust and wealth management major with financial planning, which
Oh,
completely is nothing that I was going to be, nothing that I do now. But I was serving tables because that's how I made my money, and I was making a lot of money doing it because I was younger and it was fine. But then, they kind of slowed down and it transitioned into me doing radio sales, which I was surprised that they hired me as a salesperson, especially since I didn't have any sales experience. But
radio sales?
so so I sold the ads on the radio. So the commercials you hear, we would have to go out to businesses and we would have to get them to place ads on the air because that's basically what makes the station go. It makes whenever people spend money on advertising, that runs the station basically.
Oh, okay.
And so from radio sales, I had a period where I wasn't doing radio sales. I was at a law firm. But from radio sales, I was able to do social media management for some people. So this is when you people weren't really even marketing on social media for real. People didn't know how to work Instagram. It was just mainly for us to post pictures and have chats. And
What
so,
year was this?
oh gosh, like in 2014 when I was doing
Yeah.
this stuff, 2015. So nobody was, we were just
Yeah,
pretty pictures on there. Nobody was like,
right.
this is going to be how you market your business. So
Right now, I feel like Instagram is just a virtual business card.
it literally is. It's completely changed. Just like it's no longer like, oh, personal touching moments. It's like influencing or, making people
Right.
is completely different from where it started at. So just to see that is mind blowing. But that's literally kind of how I got into it. Like from radio to clients wanting me to help them to me kind of like pausing. And then in 2020 is where I kind of got back into it because somebody reached out to me and asked me if I still, provided the service. And I was like, oh, why not? Like I haven't done that now. So that kind of flowed into me, actually learning the new ways that social media worked and wanting, better results for my clients. And then it transitioned into more of like not so much managing their social media, but I had to go back and educate people because they didn't understand like who their ideal client was. They didn't understand, what their business actually did. So I had to go back and educate them because they were just trying to,
Take it to the beginning.
yeah, they were just hiring social media managers and they were like, I wasted my money on this person. And it was like, no, you didn't, you weren't able to inform the person the proper details to market you. And so that's why you wasted your money. And so that's why I kind of was like, hey, let's go back to the basics. Let's get a plan in order. Let's coordinate some things together.
Well, that sounds like my journey. I kind of made the same mistake. I had an idea for a business, and then I went straight to well, I don't know if it was. She said she does like marketing, but I think I wasn't so
Yeah.
clear on who I was speaking to and my target audience. So then, basically, I was like, okay, this is a waste because I didn't reach anybody, and plus I used like paid ads, but I didn't even have any like audience or community before then. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's easy because you kind of just jump out there and you want the business to flow. So you just kind of start throwing money at it because you want the clients. But I feel like the foundational aspect is what really helps you market yourself better. Like getting to know yourself, getting to know the clients, getting to know what kind of business you want to run. Like it's a lot of different details when it comes to running a business. And I don't feel like we realize that at first because it's like, I just want to make some side money and I just want to not go back to work for somebody else. But
Right.
there's a lot of ins and outs to
Yes, and there's some steps you need to make before you even get to that.
it.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
so if there say there's a mom out there who wants to she has a business idea and she wants to, like, put it into fruition, what are the first steps that she should take? And when should she get to the point where she's working with someone like you, or do they work with you from the beginning?
So I feel like the first steps that you should take is, understanding like what your business idea is, who is actually going to serve, and researching. Like a lot of people skip the research phase. Like
Mhm.
research, but don't spend so much time researching. Like research, take action because you learn as you go. I don't feel like you should jump into hiring someone like me full time, but I do feel like you should invest in like a small course in learning, getting educating yourself while you're researching and then working with the clients. Like just make a goal of getting one client, working with that one client, understanding that one client, what they need, what they
Mm.
want to happen. Because the more you work with the clients, they're going to feed your marketing because you know what they're struggling with. You can speak directly to them. You know what results they need to get to achieve XYZ goal. So just researching, putting yourself out there, making the first post, and then getting that first client so that you can work with them and then get another client. How did you get that first client? However you got the first client, do the same process to get
Rinse
the
and
second
repeat.
client. Yeah.
I like 2 things that you like, first of all, I think that's something important how you said, like, research, but take action because a lot of people get stuck in the analysis paralysis. I can that was me too, I'm thinking too much, and it's not gonna be perfect ever, so you just need to, like, get out and do it, right? Just
Right, right.
find
Yeah.
that balance between research and taking action. And
Mhm.
like, yeah, give it maybe joining like a course or something like that before you commit working full time can give you that, like maybe that confidence boost. Like, okay, I'm not just all over the pace. It could give you a certain guide to like get started.
Exactly, and they have so many different things now, like, you YouTube there's nothing wrong with YouTube for a little while, but, after a while, you have to upgrade yourself,
Right.
get books, look at different books, read the books, they have Skillshare, like, it's so many different avenues for you to, begin to research and understand the aspects of how to market yourself online.
Wow. And another thing that I like that you said is like let the client tell you what, because some people we feel like, okay, I know what people need. I know what the
Mhm.
service, but sometimes we need to think about let the client, let the market tell you what they need
Right,
instead of you thinking like you know the best. Like sometimes it'll be things that you don't even think of and they're telling you like you notice all of a sudden a whole bunch of people have the same question.
right. That's very true because you should honestly let your clientele, like, kinda lead your marketing. Yes, do your ideas, do your things, and trust yourself, but also remember that you gotta serve them. This is the person that's giving you the money. You have to show up in a way of service, like, what do they want? What do they desire? What do they need to hear to take action? What are some steps that they're missing? So really knowing that person, and most of the times we are our first client, because we helped ourselves achieve the actual goal that we are
Yeah.
selling. So how did you feel? Remember how you felt in certain times or what steps you had to take to get to that next level and implementing that and putting it into your marketing.
Yeah, that's an excellent tip too. Try to think about yourself in the beginning of the journey and not now after you've already achieved the thing. Okay, I
Right.
like that. Take it back. Okay, and I see you, I follow you on Instagram, and I see you working a lot and doing collabs with different professionals in your field. And can you tell us what is the importance of networking and when it comes to business?
I feel like networking is so vital because yes, you have social media and I feel like even these instances, like we're having this interview, like getting outside of just you marketing your business by yourself and having that connection with other people is very important because it expands your audience base. It allows you to, work with, collaborate with people to create different avenues and adventures for other people. And it creates new friendships, but it just gives you so much flexibility. Like networking is very powerful. Like I know that I can call people that I used to work with on the radio to ask them questions about things and to collaborate and do certain things. I can ask people, from the nonprofit that I worked at, because people want to do more community things. Like I have a way to connect to get things done that other people want to achieve. where I've been at and who I've talked to, like it's really a way to help flourish your business. And sometimes it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Like they can
Yeah.
get in
I
the
hear
door
that a lot.
faster because you can like, hey, can you call, whoever and talk to them? They're like, yeah, I got you. And they'll call. Like it's amazing because they have that relationship, you have that relationship with them, and it just starts a whirlwind of things because it was a period of time where I wasn't, going out locally for my business. I was just, oh, I'm talking to people online and I had like all these coaching programs and it was like I was with people online, but it's like I want to see a physical person. I want to talk to somebody actually here, with me because they all lived in the same area and they would go like to lunch and stuff. And it's like, I don't have any, kind of like entrepreneur friends here. And it's like, you need those like minded people to be like, were you struggling with? How did you fix it? To bounce ideas
Right.
off of and to get feedback. Like, so it changes the morale of your business, especially if you're a solopreneur to go out and have that community that are entrepreneurs that are similar to you that you can talk with locally. It's amazing.
Yeah, I feel like that's me right now. I don't have like really close friends who are entrepreneurs. And so I'm like finding my like networking online, like Instagram and Facebook groups. And it's cool. Like it gives me something, even though it's like we don't meet physically, but I feel like I just like, wrote you up and can you want to be on the podcast? So little trinklets. I'm hoping that it'll expand and I'll have some entrepreneur friends that are physically here too. But yeah.
Yeah.
It is fun to have people that are, like, kinda in the same boat
Hmm.
and or people that are, more ahead of me that I can, like, ask for advice and
Right. When cause I was like a solopreneur and I was at home for a long time because I wanted to make sure like my daughter was good and I could like watch her because she was smaller. So it was kind of lonely at times because I was the only person. And so that's what kind of made me like venture back out and like that's why I kinda, like, went back to work part-time outside of me having my own business because it was like, "Oh, this is nice to talk to and interact with people," you know?
yeah.
Like, so it
Right?
was like
So you've been at home for a while, then you miss that talking to adults, other
right?
adults.
So, she would go to school and I would just work part-time while she was at school, and then I could just come back and still do, the mom thing, so it was nice to, like, have that balance of, like, I'm an adult and, 'cause it's not lose yourself.
Speaking of balance, what are your thoughts on work-life balance? Like, you mentioned that you have a daughter. How many children do you have?
Only have 1 baby.
Yeah, me too.
So, I think it's a routine that you have to create. Like, we have life is going to happen, but like I feel like you have to create a consistent routine for yourself to help things flow more naturally, more ease with ease. So like for me, like I wake up earlier so that I can, read and talk to the Lord, then I work out and then I'll get dressed before I even wake my daughter up because it's like that quiet time that I like to myself before we kind of like get into the day. But it's like something I had to keep doing over and over again. Like I had to be disciplined. I had to get myself used to this routine that I was creating for myself. But when I find that I, structure a routine for myself and I kind of stick to it, it starts to flow. It makes it easier. I feel good about the day. I accomplish more things and I'm not feeling chaotic and all over the place. When I'm not in sync or with a routine, it's like I'm waking up last minute because I hit that alarm clock like 50 times and then I'm like rushing out the door and then I'm
Mhm.
anxious and I'm rushing my child and then like I'm getting upset because we're trying to get to school on time, so it just makes the whole
Yeah.
atmosphere out of whack.
Oh
It
my
does.
god.
Yeah,
I'm there now too. I'm trying to have some like my son's he's a year and 10 months. So we're
Mhm.
trying to have some sort of routine. I
Yeah,
wish
yeah,
I could wake up before him. Like that's my goal. But so far he wakes me up because I go to bed like my office hours or after he goes to sleep. So I stay up
yeah.
quite late and then, but yeah, but I feel that routines.
Yeah, that was hard for me in the beginning too, like with my daughter, just being exhausted mentally, like because they're so young, and then having to get the
Right.
bedtime routine together, and then it's like you're half asleep when you're trying to do work, like it's just like
Right.
Oh, like, but it takes time. It takes giving yourself grace, and knowing that, just one step each time. If I can just keep one thing consistent, that's what I have to tell myself. If I can keep one thing consistent, I can build upon it. I keep one thing consistent, I can keep going. So it just takes a lot of time, especially when you have a younger child. I know for me, like I had to train my daughter like, "Hey, I have a call," and letting people
I
know,
love
like,
that.
I do have a child, this is what may happen, like, being upfront, like, most people understand nowadays, like, moms are working from home, they have the kid, and, like, some of them won't mind. So you have to make sure you're getting that a client that is aligned with you who doesn't see that as an issue. But then also, like, for my daughter, I would as she got older, it was like, "Hey, when the door is closed, like, don't knock on it, like, sit here, be quiet." And, like, I would make her snacks so she could just grab her own snacks because that's usually what like, "I need a sippy cup, I need a snack, I need this, I need
Oh my
that."
gosh, these are the exact like tips and insights that we need. I like everything she said right now. Implement, implement, implement.
So, it was like me having to train her, and I knew not to take a call over a certain amount of time
Right.
because I knew how much time I had, right? It's like, "Hey, we got 20 minutes, like,
Right.
that," you know? But yeah, it would like I would do, like, little things to, like, kinda help me and help us work together, which made it easier because she's like, "Oh, I can open the refrigerator, I can get all these things right here, they're mine, my mom made 'em oh, these snacks on the counter are mine, and, oh, my juice is there, my water," so I would just, all of it, so I wouldn't have to worry about it, and that would it kinda now, like, she knows, like, I'm like, "Hey, you gotta be quiet, the door is closed," and she's in there watching TV, she won't bother me, like, yeah.
Right, yes, and it's like I feel like it's also, ingrained in independence, sounds a little bit Montessori, I have her she knows she can go and get her
Yeah,
snacks, and, I like that tip, and the
right.
same way, I know, like, the time span that my son can be, like, concentrating on something, so I'm like, "Okay, I got 15 minutes, I got now
Yeah.
specifically, he would never last this long, so he's out with my husband. I'm like, "Take him to the park."
Yeah.
Um,
My gosh, yeah.
these are really good insights. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
exactly what I
hard.
wanted, like, real life advice from, like, a real mom doing it. Because everything you said sounds so practical and, like, doable.
Yeah, it's hard, like, for me, when I worked at mainly just at home, like, I had to create a schedule for myself because it's like, you can feel comfortable in your home where you kinda just wanna relax and chill and you don't really wanna work or you don't feel as motivated. So, like, putting on a full set of clothes, putting my shoes on sometimes, so it's like, "Okay, you're at work," you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really, I do that too. Sometimes when I'm on a Zoom call or something like that, sometimes I just, like, I wanna brush my teeth. I know, like, nobody's gonna smell my breath or something through the Zoom screen, but it's just something, like, where I just feel fresh. Like, even put some perfume on, it's only for me, but just to give me that illusion that, like, "Okay, I'm out.
Right,
I'm
right.
working now," just to yeah.
Makes a difference. It really does because when I would wear like the t-shirt or sweatpants, it kind of just made me feel like I'm not the person that feels motivated like that. But like if I put my clothes on, I put some makeup on, and like I feel like, okay, like this is what I'm doing. I'm working and then setting schedules like when she was younger, it's like, okay, I would work for a couple hours and it's like, let's go to the park to kind of give me a break, to give her a break, get some energy out
Right.
and then come back and finish whatever I needed to do. But like it had to be like an intentional plan for myself for me to get things accomplished. So yeah.
And what about we talked about like, motherhood and work. What about self-care? And that's something that I feel like a lot of moms struggle with. How do we find time for ourselves? Not like, outside of work and family. Are you
So
able to do that?
sometimes. So sometimes throughout the week, not so much I don't feel like, but like my daughter goes back and forth like every other weekend, so I do kind of have that time, but my mom will help me out. So if I do want to do something cuz like I told you I've been going out more and like networking with entrepreneur friends, I asked my mom like, "Hey, can you just watch it for me?" And she was just like, "Yeah," because in the beginning I was guilty of not having those self-care moments and just continuously doing the same old routine, feeling tired, feeling, overwhelmed by all the things. But I have made it more of a priority to go out to hang out with people that are my age to put that space in place. But it's just a matter of having a support system that you trust that can help you out. They have, what have I used before? They have a daycare, like a date night daycare here. I've utilized that before. They have like kids activities where parents can go on date nights. Like it's different places here that
Mhm.
I've utilized to help me to be like, I need to work on something. So this will give me a couple hours. And I just kind of like would place her in there and she would be good to go. Cause my child, she likes going. She's like, "Oh, you're sending me here? Like, I get to play with new people, new friends." Like,
Yeah.
she's one of those. But
Right, I like that.
yeah,
Utilize like different services or a network and community. And I like how you said like your form of self-care, well, one of your forms of self-care is meeting with other people because having relationships, other like, relationship with people, that is a form of self-care. So it can be so therapeutic. I know when I'm like talking to a person, having a stimulating conversation, I'm like, wow,
right,
that was good. I feel like full off of that.
right, right. I just feel like you have to like just with anything, we just have to do it and make time for it and make it necessary. But self-care is very important. Like, even if it's just to take a nap,
Yeah.
like I like, like
Right.
sometimes tired. And for me, like when my daughter was younger, it was like I had family and friends to watch her. But then as she got older and she could talk and tell me different things, that's when I kind of put her in like, those date night daycares because she can tell me what's happening. So
Right.
that's personally me because I was eerie about daycares because it's mm, like I don't, like I
That's
want
where
my
I am now. He
um,
my son's not in daycare, like, and to each their own, but it's just like I was the same way. And even like like I said, when he's read, like when he can communicate, he's only just now starting to like talk. But when
mhm.
he can communicate, then I'll feel more secure, of, like, him being with, other people outside of close friends and family.
Exactly. My daughter didn't go to daycare till she was 3, and when she did go, it was only from 9 to 1, so that just kinda gave me that period of
Right.
time to,
That's how my
do this.
sister was. All of her kids started at 3, and I was just like, "Wow, how can she be home with, like" and now I'm just like I was thinking, like, "How can she be home with them?" Like, I send them to daycare, and here I am, my son isn't in daycare. And I'm
Yeah,
sure there are amazing daycares. It's just what I feel like every mother has to do what feels right for her, and yeah, that's
right.
what just felt right for us.
I feel the same way, especially, like, when it's your first baby, it's like, like, you kinda, like, cling to them, like, you like,
Right.
it's so precious, you you I don't know what it feels like after the 2nd, 3rd, or anything. I'm sure it, like, kinda feels inkle, but you kinda more you have training because of the first one.
Right. Yeah,
But
that's what yeah, some people do say you like well, most people say after the second, there you kind of like relax a bit. But yeah, we're at our first, so I don't know. I don't know what that's like yet. So
oh, man.
so do you ever experience mom guilt?
All the time. I had to be like, "You're providing for her," but, like, still like, not so much that I'm not missing out on things. So, I'm not a person that's like, "I'm gonna work, 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 work," myself to the bone because 'cause I'm providing for it. So, like, because when it comes to kids, it's like quality time is a thing for them. Like,
Mm.
you wanna work on your business, but you don't wanna miss out on the child's life, you know? So, I just had to make sure, like, I scheduled the things that, like I told you, was like, "Oh, I'm working some, like, let's go to the park." Like, have our little time to break it up then
Yeah, I like
at
that.
work. But, yeah, I feel like I don't didn't have as much of the guilt when I realized, like, I'm working to provide for us, and I have this time, but then you can have that time for them as well. So, even it's like you have a spouse, it's like you can't just work all the time and not spend that time with them and hang out with them and, because then the relationship isn't going to be nurtured. It's going to be, fizzle
Right.
out. So I feel like whatever you do, like managing the time and honoring yourself in that so that you don't feel shorted and honoring the other person in that you're good to go. Cause like no matter what we do, whatever's for us will always be for us, especially when it comes to business. And we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves because it's just gonna all work out regardless.
Oh wow, I like that. When you put that so eloquently. We talked about your journey, we talked about entrepreneurship and children a bit. And now Like, tell me, what is for any mom that's thinking about going into business? Do you
Mhm.
think, like, some people say I should wait until like the kids are older, or I can do right now? Do you think there's a like good time to start, or just like having kids, is there never a good time to start?
I feel like it's never a good time to start. I feel like life is short. It's like, why should we wait to do things? Why should we wait to change, to grow, to pursue? Like, life is like, I don't want you to look back and be like, "Oh, I should have started sooner," or "I regret that I did this." Like, if it's something that has been placed on you, a desire that you want, I feel like take the chance and go for it. Why not? Like, all you can do is try. If it doesn't work, you just try again. And we we don't know if tomorrow is promised. So like, like
Just
go
go
for
for it.
whatever it is that you want to do. Like it makes life more interesting and it's exciting to try new things. That's what I've learned as I've gotten older. It's like we kind of like go to school and we're told that we got to do this one thing and, this is what we'll do for life. And it's like, it's so many different avenues of who we are as people. It's so many things that we've learned along the way that lead us to where we are. And I just feel like it's important to pursue your dreams, to take the trips, to figure out how to make it happen. Like, and just trust the process as you go. Like, it's all the joy in the journey that we take. Like, life is a lot of small moments that make one big moment. It's the journey that we're taking. Like just talking to you and thinking about me on my entrepreneur journey is like, man, I
Yeah.
did work from home. Like, man, I did have like a 2-year-old in here that I had to like get on calls with. It's like, man, and everything has like grown me and led me to where I am. Like I've sat there at night working systems, crying about it, trying to figure it out. Listen, like when my daughter went to bed and then just waking up and doing it again and not knowing what I'm doing. And then the feeling of getting the first client and getting another one and then getting paid more
Wow.
because you learned to raise your prices, it's just like it builds and it's exciting and you grow and it just teaches you so much about yourself along the way. Yeah.
Wow. I'm just thinking just from your story that you've shared, how every experience that you had that you went for, like it helped you get to where you are today. And you motivated and inspired me. And I'm sure everybody who's heard you right now, you motivated them. I'm like, keep on going, Cerise.
And keep on going, keep on going. Like we have to start somewhere, It
Right.
doesn't just magically we don't plant a seed and it magically produces the fruit.
Right.
It takes time for it to grow.
It
It
takes
has to be
time.
watered and cultivated and like it has to have like even just growing a vegetable sometimes. Like tomatoes are the easiest, but like I had cucumbers. It was like you had to get different like you sometimes you have to get protein for plants or you have to get like this type of bug killer because it grows a certain way and it's going to attract different bugs. It's like so many different things. It's like business. Like you don't know what's going to come at you.
Wow.
Like,
And yeah, and you have to diagnose it and then get what you like need with the protein for
yeah,
plants. So sometimes your business needs a marketing strategist.
like we don't know. Like it doesn't happen easily. And like the people that we see out here that have done it big is like they were doing it 12 years before or 10 years before, or 20 years before, like, and they had to struggle and get there. And it just is, it's about being consistent. It's about knowing what you want and pursuing that. Like, that's it.
And what's been the most fulfilling part of your journey so far?
I feel like the most fulfilling part for me is just watching myself not give up, you know? Like, we all have those moments where it's like, I don't think this is for me, or being unsure if, you made the right decision and just continuing to keep going no matter like what happens, what changes may occur, and just learning how to take a different direction, to learn something else, to figure it out, and just to trust every aspect of the process. Like, I feel like that's the most exciting, like taking initiative to solve the problems yourself, and just, enjoying every aspect of it. I feel like that's it. I feel like business teaches you more about yourself than it will teach, anything. Like you'll know, like, oh, I am a procrastinator, or oh,
Right? You'll find out those weak
I have a
points real quick.
yeah, I don't have a routine, or oh, I don't like to read a book, like stuff like
Yeah. Wow. Man, and I'm just thinking about all of a sudden I just thought about your daughter, like what amazing role model she has. Like she's
Oh
seen
my
her
god.
mom do this and she's gonna know that it's possible and like she can do it too. And that's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Not like sky is the limit. Like it's just so many different things that we can do as people, no matter how big or small, and just owning that. Like we don't all have to have the $1 million business to me. Like for me, it's just helping people and maintaining consistency when it comes to growing my business and knowing what's right for me. I feel like we allow the internet can have us be in this fog of what we feel like business has to look like. And it's
Right.
honest, you can do anything you want to do when it comes to your business. It's just you making the choice to be like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to break all the rules. I'm going to be outside the box. And for me, I feel like that's what we should do. Just trust ourselves. Like if you do get a coach and you get someone to help you, also listen to your own advice. Don't follow them to a T. They should just be a guide,
And
not someone.
not dictators.
Yeah, because I've heard that happen before. People like, they told me that I needed to do this. And it's like, but what did you want to do? And like, I never wanted to be someone like that. It's like, what did you want to do? Like, what does that sound like? What does it look like? Let's take the actual steps to make it happen because that's what you wanted to do, not what I told you to do. Like, I
Right.
suggest something, but it's up to you at the end of the day to make the decision because you're the business owner.
Yeah, and it sounds like with me and like my nutrition clients, how I would tell them like, I'm not going to tell you, tell me what you enjoy eating. What are your preferences? And then we can adapt your diet to that. Cause I'm not going to tell you to eat cottage cheese and cucumbers when you don't eat that, like when you don't like that.
I heard
Uh,
that heard a lady eating about her eating cottage cheese, making like a Big Mac bowl. This lady was telling me she puts the cottage cheese, the ground beef, and stuff. I'm like, to the bun. I'm like, I don't like cottage cheese.
And it's okay. Or whoever's listening is inspired by you and maybe want to work with you or connect with you. Tell us, where can we find you?
So I'm K's Concepts for everything, for every platform that I'm on.
Yeah,
My
simple.
website, yeah, K's Concepts for everything is where you'll find me. And my main thing is to guide you through content creation, but not only content creation through, overcoming mindset hurdles when it comes to your marketing, because most of the time that's normally what it is. It's just like us holding ourselves back to not produce the content, to put it out there, expecting things to be perfect. And it's just like knowing the foundational aspects when it comes to your marketing, researching, understanding the client and putting it out there, and to keep trying, to keep testing different things, to stepping out of the box, being creative and owning who you are as a business owner.
Wow, awesome.
Thank you for having me.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.